Hey guys, CryptoDad here again. Thanks for joining me on the Saturday night live stream, live from Michigan, where you can throw out questions and I'll do my best to get them answered. We'll talk about Bitcoin, we'll talk about the news, we'll talk about altcoins. I'm going to move some crypto around for you guys and demo some wallets. We'll talk about the difference between the Ledger Nano X and the Trezor Model T. Arguably the top two wallets out there. So we'll talk about their differences and their pros and cons and try to help you decide which one is right for you if you're in the market for a cryptocurrency hardware wallet. And so let's get going. I'm here with the rig and all my good stuff in the background. I was just getting everything set up and forgot to get a cable attached that was long enough to reach over here. I think I just snuck in under the wire, so I think we're okay. So that's that, and we'll use that when the time comes. Let's see here. Let's go over to the big screen. Hopefully we're on the right monitor. Oh, we're on the right monitor. We're just on the wrong scene. So once again, welcome everyone for being here. Yeah, I don't have the chat window up. So let's take a look at what's going on with that. Mr. Miskey is here. Kenneth Wiedner, Kenny, is here. Thanks for all the news this week. I have a horrible confession to make. I didn't use all of the news stories that you sent me. I was a little busy today. We went down to, I don't know if I can find it here. This would be nice. Yeah. The National Blueberry Festival down in South Haven, and we did not enter the pie eating contest. No one in my family was interested in the pie eating contest, but we did have a nice blueberry pancake breakfast put on by the Kiwanis Club, which was pretty cool. And then we looked around the shops and watched a little bit of the parade that they had down there. So we had a good time. A lot of interesting, wonderful outdoor stuff going on in West Michigan this weekend. So everybody's trying to catch that last bit of summer before school gets in full swing and fall comes and winter sets in eventually. But yeah, I think Michigan is one of the greatest places to live, especially during the summer. I enjoy the winter, but a lot of people don't. But so that's what we were doing today, and just got back a little while ago, so we had a great time. Once again, thanks JDO for being here, Amsterdam, Holland. Emmanuel is here, Alru from France. That's really cool. I don't know what time it is in France. I think it's probably late evening, if I'm not mistaken. P Wizzle is here, which is Paul. I hope I didn't break your anonymity there, but you're still using the same icon, so the regulars probably know you. It's good. From historical Quincy, Massachusetts. Very cool. Mark Sparky. Anyone else looking at Noodle? We're not looking at, we're not doing coin evaluations. This is about security and crypto custody and a little bit of news and markets. But yeah, I don't do like weird coin evaluations. Let's see. Tattoo Destroyer is here. KP4CA just subscribed. Thank you for that. Dan Wester is here. Dan and I saw each other this week at our monthly investor group, which was cool. Always nice to have Dan here and nice to see him in person as well. Scott Lee is here. Thank you for being here, Scott. I hope you're staying safe. I'm pretty sure you don't live on Maui. I think you live on the Big Island, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong. Don't want to pry into your business, but I think everyone here that's a regular knows you live in Hawaii, and we hope that you're safe and secure out there with those fires. And let's see, John Engelad, Ledger Stacks. Haven't heard a word about Ledger Stacks. We're going to talk about what's going on with Ledger when we do our comparison between our two products. I'm having a hard time defending Ledger, but at the same time, I have a hard time dealing with people that are bad-mouthing Trezor T as well. We'll get into that a little more. Let's see. Evelyn Mitchell is here. That you set the alarm. That's so cool. I thank you. Thank you for that. And KO13, and I think that's everybody so far. Those of you who are out there silent, thanks for joining. I really appreciate it. And let's jump into it. Let's see. We do have some news. I didn't get a chance to pin every news story, but I always like to give everybody a little bit of an update about what's going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin tends to drive the crypto market, being the penultimate original crypto, right? So Bitcoin has bottomed, whatever that means, despite astonishing BTC price action. According to an analyst, Bitcoin is due to offer nothing beyond classic weekend chop. Signs of BTC price charts continue to flow in. I think this is maybe just a short-term prediction, right? Bitcoin further ground down volatility into August 12th as astonishing BTC price action stayed in place. Having followed Bitcoin for many years, at least especially on this channel, I started the channel in 2017, but I got involved in Bitcoin back in 2013. And so I've been pretty much aware of its price action. I didn't really follow it on a daily basis until I started this channel. And it traditionally has been a very volatile asset that has amazing run-ups and drops. And that's always kind of been its hallmark. But lately, over the last year or so, it has sort of, as this article points out, kind of ground down. And that's just my observation in general. I don't see the dizzying run-ups like I used to. Where we do have a run-up, it tends to sort of level out pretty quick these days. And news doesn't drive the price as much as it used to. It used to be, if anything in the news came out that was vaguely positive for Bitcoin, the markets just went crazy and the Bitcoin shot up 10, 20%. And when anyone uttered anything that was remotely negative about Bitcoin in the news or in the finance world, Bitcoin took these like dizzying dives. So we're not seeing that as much anymore. Maybe this article will tell us a little more about that. After displaying only muted reactions to this week's United States macroeconomic data prints, the BTC USD trading pair held firm around 29.5, a key battleground between bulls and bears. In its defense, the financial announcements for this week, which were the inflation prints, were rather bland, and the overall market didn't react that much either, if I'm not mistaken. I don't follow the stock market that close, but I mean, I do tend to, sort of check in on the financial websites. So yeah, there wasn't a whole lot to glean from the inflation data. I don't know, there's so many different prints. The news was sort of in the middle. We all know that inflation is higher than the Bureau of Labor and Statistics says they are. Anyone with half a brain knows that food is much more expensive than it used to be. My insurance here in Michigan just went up. Kind of a gut wrencher when I logged into my insurance account to pay my bill. I'm like, oh my gosh, my insurance has just been jacked up another $45, and they claim that's because of their higher costs. So yeah, I mean, this whole inflation thing is kind of a silent killer. Anyway, expecting just another classic weekend chop around CME close price, popular trader Dan CryptoTad's wrote, referencing the closing price of CME Bitcoin futures markets at 29,465. The lack of movement throughout the week, meanwhile, surprised long-term market participants, including Michael Van de Poppe, founder and CEO of trading firm 8. Extremely astonishing PA on Bitcoin lately. Still favoring upwards momentum, though, he says. Investigating exchanges, contributor to on-chain analytics platform, eyed long positions appearing from Bitcoin whales. I did see an article earlier that said that something about the amount of Bitcoin that is being in custody by long-term holders has peaked out. So that's a good sign for long-term Bitcoin holders. Bitcoin price approaches historic compression, right? Compression levels, I guess that means that it's just pushing down. But, you know, take heart. For 3 years, I used to hear Bitcoin bashers telling me that Bitcoin peaked in 2017 at 20,000. And if you don't believe that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme and a bubble popped, just look at its price today. It was 20,000 and now it's like 8,000, 10,000, 12, 15,000. Bitcoin's dead, right? Well, Bitcoin came back in 2020, blew past its 20,000 peak from 2017 and has held fairly steady above that ever since. It was down to around 16,000 last year, but we're up at 30 and I can't complain. All right, so I'll just put it that way. Now, the big news for this week is PayPal launching their own stablecoin. I played around a little bit with PayPal earlier today, trying to figure out if I could buy this stablecoin or not, and had some issues. I couldn't find it, basically. I kept reading stuff telling me where to go to find it, and the instructions were bad. You know, I would follow the step by steps and get in there, and I couldn't find the controls they were talking about. So I don't know if you can actually buy this stablecoin or not. Maybe someone can clue me in how to do it. I'll play around with it on my phone. We can drop some Bitcoin into my PayPal account tonight. Maybe we should get going on that right after the news, and because sometimes Bitcoin takes a little bit of time to confirm when you drop it on exchanges. I know it does on Coinbase, so maybe we'll play around with that. But they have announced a new stablecoin that is backed by US dollar and US dollar equivalents, which translates to treasury bonds and some other kind of financial instruments, but good as cash, right? And Paxos is their partner in this, and they're kind of the custody people that are maintaining this dollar-backed part of the stablecoin. But this is really big news. This is the kind of news that would have just made the market take off had this been announced back in, say, 2018 or 19, or, even 2020 or 2021. This would have really moved the market. And it's surprising that it didn't move the price of Bitcoin that much. But this is a real ground-shaking event that we have a major financial institution involved in crypto to this extent. And PayPal is huge. Say what you will about PayPal, but they are huge. They're all over the world. They have billions. I don't know if they have trillions, but they have a lot of assets, right? And they're a major player in the finance sector. Let's see what we've got here. U.S. dollar peg stablecoin will be issued by Paxos Trust and fully backed by U.S. dollar deposits, short-term treasuries, and similar cash equivalents. It's built on Ethereum, so it's an ERC20 token designed for digital payments and Web3, with the firm saying it will soon be available to United States customers. There it is. Soon be available to United States customers. Actually, I read an article. Let's see if I can find this again. How do I buy PayPal USD? I thought that I got this. Let me see if this is the article. Actually, what I got was, I'm trying to find the contract address for PayPal. So for the PayPal stablecoin, I saw it in an article that I had read earlier. Where was I looking at that? Let's try over here. How do I buy PayPal USD? I don't know. Maybe it was my well, I'm not going to be able to find it, am I? Should have. How to buy USD on PayPal? Doggone it. Where in the heck is this? Okay. Let's see. Maybe Paxos might give us some. Okay. Let's try it this way. I'm getting bogged down here, but that's okay. Let's see. It's PYUSD, right? There it is. Okay. And doggone it, I know that I saw an article that gave me the contract address. Well, doggone it. Maybe it was on my phone. Let me check this out real quick. See if I can find it on my phone. Ooh, doggone it. I just had it. Okay. Okay, there it is. Isn't this it? No, maybe not. Anyway, doggone it. Let's just try this. Well, you know, the thing is that I wanted to find the contract address, PYUSD contract. Whoops. Contract address. Doggone it. That's not going to happen, is it? Doggone it. I had like a help article that specifically explained exactly how to buy this, and it gave a contract address, but it might have been a fake, right? What I wanted to point out was that there are a lot of fake PayPal, and there's no contract address in here. So, yeah, I guess it's just not available yet. Where can I buy PayPal USD? Okay, so yeah, I guess it's really not out yet. Maybe that article that I had read earlier was just a faux. You know, because if we go over and check, there should be a lot of fake. Let's see. I will log in to Uniswap. And let's see what we can do here. We'll use MetaMask. Hello? No? Oh, come on, Rex. Doggone it. Why does this happen to me when I'm live? Always. Doggone it. Why won't this thing connect? Ugh, I know what it is. I've got some other wallet that's interfering. I got to figure out which one it is. This happens occasionally when I put in new wallets. So let me... SafePal extension? Maybe it's this one. I'll take that. Let's see here. We'll take... well... Yeah, it was so weird. I think it might be working now. There. Yep. At least I figured that one out while we were live. Let's do that. Okay. All right, so we've got a little bit of Ethereum in here. Let's flip over to the Ethereum network. And let's see how many PayPal, PYUSD. Well, okay. Anyway. Never works when I have company. From what I understand, there are a lot of fake PYUSD tokens out there masquerading as the real thing. So don't get fooled. I don't really know why anyone would rush to buy a stablecoin thinking it's going to make them rich, because a stablecoin is always pegged to the US dollar. So, but there, you know, people hear the news and they think, oh, I got to grab this. And there's so many scammers out there that'll try to sell you something that they claim is the real thing. Okay, so it's not available yet, so we can't do it tonight. So, but anyway, I will throw some Bitcoin into my PayPal account, though. We'll do that. PYUSD will be redeemable for US dollars at all times, can be exchanged for other cryptos on PayPal, and will be transferable between PayPal and Venmo. The company claims it will soon be available as a mode of payment for various purchases, and they claim that you'll be able to withdraw to your own wallet as well if you want to do that. PayPal launching a stablecoin could accelerate its efforts to become a crypto payment giant, an initiative the company started in 2020 after making way for crypto payments on the platform. PayPal boasts over 350 million active users and already lets users in the US and the United Kingdom buy, sell, and hold Bitcoin, Ether, Bitcoin Cash, and Litecoin, while also enabling payments in the assets. PayPal CEO Dan Schulman hopes the new stablecoin will become part of the overall payment infrastructure. The company first confirmed its plans to launch a crypto stablecoin in January of 22, claiming it would work closely with relevant regulators. While there are multiple stablecoins available in the crypto market, PayPal will be the first launched by a major payment processor. Paxos CEO Charles Cascarilla told CoinGraph. Okay. So very exciting news. Got a little story here. The PayPal stablecoin is bigger news than any Bitcoin ETF. I think Kenneth sent me this story, if I'm not mistaken. If you did, Kenny, thank you. I don't know. The launch of PayPal stablecoin, PYUSD. I'm calling it PYUSD. I think it's pronounced PYUSD. But I think of it as a PSYOP, so I'll call it PYUSD until someone corrects me. Is the biggest news in 2023, more significant than news about any future Bitcoin ETF approval. PayPal has always been an eager early crypto adopter relative to their banking and fintech peer group. In September 2020, they helped initiate the bull cycle by being the first large fintech to allow their millions of users to buy crypto. So, you know, back in 2020, there was PayPal getting into crypto. There was Elon Musk and Tesla buying a huge amount of Bitcoin. Those were huge drivers to the current Bitcoin bull run, which peaked up at around 68,000 briefly in 2021. And we're now back around, I mentioned earlier, around 30,000. But that's a far cry from where we were in 2019 and 2020 when we had that black swan event of the COVID market scare in March of 2020. I don't remember exactly how far Bitcoin went down. I want to say 6,000. I don't know. But we've come a long way since then. And PayPal was one of the drivers of that big crypto bull run in 2020 and 2021. PYUSD is a similar watershed moment for the industry, coming at a critical time when stablecoin volume outstanding is increasingly moving to offshore options such as USDT or Tether. PayPal entering the crypto space adds legitimacy to stablecoins and paves the way for additional companies to incorporate regulated stablecoins into their platforms or launch their own. Now, my good friend Aaron had sent me an email the day this was announced and said, I don't get it. What's the big deal with stablecoin? Totally understand that. You'll still have a lot of people that'll ask, what is a stablecoin? It is a coin, a cryptocurrency, first and foremost, on a blockchain. In this case, PYUSD is on the Ethereum blockchain. And it is pegged to the value of the US dollar. So it's not something that you would buy and invest in because the price is not going to go up. If you buy $1,000 worth of stablecoin and then expect it to be worth $2,000 the next year, you're going to be sorely disappointed. It'll actually only still be worth $1,000 in US dollars and will be worth less because of inflation. So it's not a normal cryptocurrency type investment that you would make. What it is it's a utility coin that you can use. In the early days, it was kind of a method for early crypto traders on exchanges that had no on-ramps and off-ramps, a way to park their crypto assets without to escape the volatility of the crypto market. So for example, if you were holding Bitcoin and Bitcoin had one of those huge 10, 20% run-ups, you would sell all or some of your Bitcoin off into Tether or a stablecoin, and that was safe, right? It was pegged to the price of the US dollar. So if the next day or two Bitcoin went right back down again, which it was very common back in those days, you would still have your crypto profits safe and secure parked in this stable coin. And then you could come back in and scoop some more Bitcoin up when it went down. So it was just kind of a place to park your gains during times of volatility. Now, over time, there are a lot of platforms like Uniswap is one of them where you can actually stake stable coins to earn small, steady returns. There are ways to stake all kinds of cryptocurrencies, and depending on the cryptocurrency, your gains are higher or lower. If it's a brand new crypto, usually you're going to get a much higher return when you're staking those types of cryptos. And if you're staking stablecoin, in general, your return on stablecoins are lower, but steady, right? So you're gonna there's speculation that there will be a mechanism where PayPal probably will pay a small dividend for people that are invested in their PYUSD. We shall see. They haven't said anything about that, but for now they're thinking of it as a payment, a way to make payments. You can use it to buy stuff. So just like in the old days, if you remember when PayPal first came out, and I'm showing my age here, this was way back in the early days of the internet when people were scared to buy things on the internet. I remember back in the late 90s, there were a lot of people that would say, I would never buy anything on the internet. You have to be crazy to buy anything on the internet. People were afraid to give their credit cards. They thought they were going to get hacked. So it was kind of the Wild West back then. Well, PayPal came out, and I remember that what was cool about PayPal back in the early days was that you could use your credit card to buy PayPal, right? Or bank transfer, wire transfer. And once you had put your money into PayPal, you basically had internet money. So if you went to some wacky, crazy web portal to buy something, you could safely buy it using your PayPal account and not have to give your credit card information to that shaky site, right? You had PayPal account, you had internet money. And so PayPal is sort of doing this again with their stablecoin, right? It's the kind of thing where you can buy it. Once you've bought it, you don't have to worry about, you know, your bank account information or your credit card information, because you have got their stablecoin. You can use that wherever, right? So that's the idea. We'll see how that pans out. I did want to bring up one more story here, which I thought I had queued up about Kathy. We still need to talk about that one real quick. The SEC has delayed its decision on ARK shares, ARK 21 spot Bitcoin ETF. ARK Investment Management founder and CEO Kathy Wood predicted on August 7th the SEC would delay its decision on the firm's spot BTC ETF. And so they did. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission has delayed a decision on approving or disapproving the spot BTF. This is not a denial. This is simply they're delaying their decision. So the prospects of a true Bitcoin ETF are still kind of up in the air. That's the nub of the gist of this story. I'm getting a little behind myself. It's about 6:30. I'm going to get out of the news here real quick, but I will show a couple of other little crypto-related stories. Sam Bankman-Fried jailed ahead of trial. Bankman-Fried was accused of leaking former Alameda Research CEO Caroline Ellison's diary to the New York Times. How funny how that works, you know. It's one thing to leak something, right? It's another thing for the New York Times to actually print this, right? So, yeah, you can blame Sam for like pulling out the diary and handing it off to some journalist, but really, who was really involved in this, right? So it's weird that no one is saying anything about the New York Times splashing this information out to the public. So anyway, he got his bail revoked for doing that. He was trying to taint her as a government witness. She is cooperating with the government and will most likely be testifying against him. And so he released her personal diary, which basically had no information related to the case, was just personal stuff, but was kind of a way to assassinate her character. So they revoked his bail. He's back to jail again. I sleep better at night. So I thought I'd bring that up. That's kind of a major crypto story. And then let's see. I thought I had one more. Maybe not. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, the Curve Finance. Where did that go? Doggone it. I hate that when that happens. I can't find it. Well, it was there. Curve Finance. Here we go. Was hacked earlier this week, I think. Don't know exactly the day, but $62 million hack of the Curve Finance platform. It's one of those DEXs that I told you, decentralized exchanges. Don't know exactly what the vulnerability was, but the hack was made public. $62 million drained from the platform, and Curve Finance has vowed to reimburse everyone that lost due to this hack. Decentralized DeFi platform Curve Finance has officially stated its intention to reimburse users impacted by the recent hack, resulting in $62 million. According to X, formerly Twitter. I don't know how long they'll say formerly Twitter. Posts from its official account, ongoing investigations are yielding progress, with approximately 79% of the funds successfully recovered, which is pretty good news. Platform also said it would assess each impacted user for reimbursement. Okay. All right, so that's good. Now, I wanted to jump in. I wanted to remind everyone that I have an Amazon Prime page that you can go to check out stuff that I've recommended. I've got stuff for my rig. These are all the components of my rig. I should probably maybe do some more stuff with computer components, but these are the exact components that I'm using over in my rig. What are we doing here? Oh, come on, Rex. There you go. You guys know my rig, right? You've seen it before. It's that bright light thing over there. It's got all kinds of fun stuff in there. It's got that lit up memory, that Corsair memory. I think I've got 128, if I'm not mistaken. Let's quickly look at that. Yeah, I got 128 gigabytes of RAM in this guy. I've got a 4090 NVIDIA graphic card in there, which has been helping a lot with my AI. I've got colorful fans and a wonderful case. So you can get all that kind of cool stuff if you want to check that out. Let's go back here. Oops, I always do that, don't I? I'm going to have to name these a little better so I don't click on the wrong one. And then for those of you who are a little leery of crypto wallets, buying them, I've heard a lot of people complaining about Ledger. Sometimes they have to wait. I've never really had a big problem with buying a Ledger device directly from Ledger. It usually gets to me in a mostly timely manner. It does come like DHL. But you can buy Ledgers and Trezors right on Amazon, and they're sealed in the box. These are, you know, I believe Ledger has its own Amazon page, if I'm not mistaken, right? So yeah, you can buy Ledger right on Amazon. So the nice thing about that is you get it really fast. Trusted through Amazon, and you can return it right away if you don't like it. I don't know what their policy on Ledger devices are. Well, we'll see. But usually you can return just about anything on Amazon. And they do have, instead of $149, they've got this $104 price for these colored Ledger device, these Ledger Nano X color devices. Looks like you could still get the black one if you wanted one. Right, but they also have the colors. So pretty decent price for Ledgers on Amazon, right? So I've got links to all that stuff on my in the description down below. There's and I've got some links here for direct purchase of Ledger and Trezor. But if you scroll down a little more past the news stories, I've got this Amazon page linked down here that you can go to check out my hardware wallet recommendations. All right. And by the way, this that is not a picture of me. That is an AI generated image of me using XDSL stable diffusion, right? Stability AI came out with their new SDXL, and I updated my stable diffusion with XD to the XDSL, and then trained a LoRa with a bunch of pictures of me, so I can pretty much generate thumbnails of me at will now, so I don't have to like use the same one over and over again or pose for pictures. So enough about me. Why don't we send some Bitcoin over to my PayPal account, and let's just see how that works. Let's go into Ledger Live. I'll start here because I have some Bitcoin in my Ledger Live. Let's see here. Let's go in here. And then I promised you guys that I would, let's see, I think the easiest, since I'm on my desktop, the easiest thing to do would be to get into my PayPal. I'm going to move this over here. Now, PayPal is a little bit personal for people. There's really not that much in my PayPal account at the moment. Please tell me, I got to put in my... All right, I think I can do that. And then PayPal has this thing. They do not. I don't know why PayPal does not support Google Authenticator, but they don't. Right? You have to get a phone text every time you use PayPal. And is it going to come or is it not going to come? Oh, it came. I got my phone on silent. You know, I'm getting old, and I really get annoyed when my phone rings. So it's like, I was like, I would put it on, now how do you get, oh, it's finances. All right, so we get into finances over here. And okay, we're in crypto, and here's Bitcoin, right? We would like to, I think here, that's it. All right, so we go to PayPal, we go to finances, we go to crypto, and then we click on this little transfer. They don't make this abundantly clear, do they? All right, we want to receive Bitcoin to this address. And so it's going to generate a Bitcoin address. I'm going to copy that into my clipboard, and then let's go back over here. And okay, let's connect this. Ledger. We'll do the ledger first. This is where I have some Bitcoin. Hopefully this will work. Yes, looks like it's going to work. Let me get my PIN entered, and then the fun will begin. Okay. So I have this set up over here like I did last week. If you remember, I've got this Trezor camera right here pointed down at my table here. I also got, you can't really see it very well, but I have this nice Corsair mouse mat, which I really like it when I'm doing these setup videos because it doesn't get, like, it's cloth, so it doesn't get fingerprints on it the way that the table used to. I always had to clean off the fingerprints from my table before I did setups. So I've got that down. Let's go over here. Yeah. All right, so we don't need the phone. We can get rid of that. We're not going to use the Trezor at the moment. All right, and here's our Ledger device. All right, so we got everything lined up and ready to go. So let's go over to this. All right, so we have that address. Whoops, sorry. So we have that address. Whoops, things are going nuts over here. We have that address generated from PayPal. So let's go here and do a send. And we'll paste in the address from PayPal. That's the PayPal address that we got, right? We can eyeball it there. DSYJX, BTC1. So we're golden there. We'll hit continue. Let's do $50 worth of Bitcoin. Emmanuel, thank you for that. Let's hit continue again, and now we're ready to send. So what happens when we try to send from a Ledger wallet is we have to authorize the outgoing transaction by signing it with our device by using the buttons. Let's hit continue. All right. All right. Oh, this isn't going to work, is it? Doggone it. It's not recognizing the device is connected. Doggone it. Okay. 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 I think what I'll just do temporarily is just change cable. The cable that I'm using here is much shorter. So it's not going to reach over there to that camera. And I'm going to have to put in my PIN again. Oh my gosh. If anything could go wrong. That's okay. That's okay. Let's just get this done. All right. I just want to get this Bitcoin on its way. Yeah, this is not, whoops. Okay, so it wants me to retry here. Oops. All right, now it wants me to open the Bitcoin app, as you can see. I don't know if you can't see it very well. I'll do that. I think I can do this guy here. Yeah, you can see me a little better here. All right, it says Bitcoin is ready, and now it's processing, and now I'm reviewing the output. We'll do that. There's the address, and then we'll approve that outgoing. Well, that okay. Now I need to approve the Bitcoin blockchain fees. This is this is built into Bitcoin. This is not Ledger charging me a fee. This is the Bitcoin blockchain fees. All right, off it goes. We'll go back here to our main screen, and off it went. Right, so we'll see how long that takes to get into our PayPal account. Now, so I'm going to sort of kind of keep an eye on it here. We'll see how long it takes. And as we're waiting for that to happen, and we can also look at this on my phone. So, for example, we can just check my PayPal on my phone so we can see it in both places. Yeah. All right. And on your phone, you go to finances down there at the bottom, and then I'm already in crypto. And so it might be a bit before the Bitcoin is actually available in our PayPal account. Pardon me. So this will be a good experiment. So, but while we're waiting on that, let's go ahead and I'll maybe answer some questions. Let me see what's going on over in the chat window. I'm a little behind. Pardon me. There, yes. Dan mentioned that the stablecoin, PayPal stablecoin is big news. How uses PayPal and who would use ETFs now? Compare the difference in total dollars between the two groups. A good point JDO made. I think day to day there might be more people using the PayPal stablecoin on a day-to-day basis, but probably in much smaller amounts than investors and institutions that would be buying and selling Bitcoin ETFs. So the Bitcoin ETF might be a bigger driver market-wise, price-wise, but I think overall and adoption-wise, the PayPal US, the SAI US dollar is good on that front, right? Will PayPal be used to paying Celsius bankruptcy at like $60 minimum, 10K? I don't know that you're going to get a Celsius refund through PayPal. I don't know what their maxes and mins are going to be. I haven't opened my Ledger and Trezor for 2 years. What should I do first? Thanks for your help. Bonnie Bean, thanks for being here. Since we've got a Ledger Live open, the first thing you should do when you connect your Ledger device, if you haven't had it open for a couple years, is update your firmware. You might also need to update your Ledger Live software if you haven't used that in 2 years. So you'll probably need to do two things. One, update Ledger Live. So that probably would be your first order of business. And you will see when you open up Ledger Live at the top of the portfolio window, there'll be an alert telling you need to update your Ledger Live. You'll most likely see a dot down here next to the My Ledger section that indicates you have a firmware update that you need to do. So you'll go ahead and update your software. This is the Ledger Live software. The current version is 2.64.2. So you probably need to make sure that that's updated. Honestly, you should log in to your Ledger Live and connect to your Ledger device. I would say at least 2 or 3 times a year, just to make sure that the device is up to date, because it is it's kind of a living, breathing gadget. It's not the kind of I know people kind of think of it as like this static thing, but because blockchains change and the way things are done changes, blockchains get updated for new functionality, new security updates, new bug fixes, and so the Ledger device also has to adapt to that. That's why you have firmware updates and app updates and software updates. So definitely best practice would be to log into your Ledger Live 2 or 3 times a year at least to make sure that things are fully up to date. Now, you should be okay. You might be pretty far behind if you haven't connected your device in a couple years. So go on and open up Ledger Live. You can run Ledger Live without having the device connected and get that updated before you even connect the device. All right. So, but once you have the device connected, you'll want to go over to the My Ledger section. I've got my Ledger device here, and it's probably going to ask me to allow Ledger Manager on my device. So we'll click both buttons there. And I'm already updated. So, but there are app updates. So generally, this is the latest version of the Ledger firmware, 2.2.2. A lot of people are hanging back on the Ledger firmware updates, but this is not a good long-term strategy. Firmware does need to be updated. A lot of people are not updating their firmware because they don't trust Ledger, or they think that the latest firmware updates that enable their recovery service have some sort of backdoor installed. We've been going back and forth over that over the last couple of months. I personally think that it's still best practice to keep your firmware updated. That this recovery feature is optional, and it's not even available yet. So, I don't know, I've been using this device for quite a while now. We'll talk more about that, but I just wanted to get to Bonnie Bean's question here. Notice that I can update my apps. So even when you're running the latest version of the firmware, there are still app updates. This means that the developers that run the Algorand blockchain have made some updates to their blockchain, either functionality or bug fixes or security updates. And so they have updated the app and submitted this update to Ledger. Ledger Live is open source. All these developers out here make updates and update their apps. Asil, thank you so much for that donation. Put some new music and a new icon there this week. That's the bopping alien. And Ethereum has got updates that need to be done on the device, and XDC, which I hate, and I'm not going to answer any questions about. I have lost crypto trying to store it on my Ledger, so I am not a huge fan of XDC. But maybe this new update will, like my crypto that I stored there, will magically appear. I don't know. But that's it. And then the same with Trezor, right? We're going to connect my Trezor here in a bit and take a look at that. Trezor, when you first connect it, will tell you either you've got a firmware update or you've got a software update. And so accordingly, you should do both of those, right? And the same with Trezor, you should update your device periodically, right? You don't want to let it sit around too long in the drawer because you might get too far behind and then not be able to run your updates. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to scroll down just a tad here. PYUSD contract address is on CoinMarketCap. Let's check that. CoinMarketCap. Okay, PYUSD. Okay, there it is. Whoops, did I get it or not? Okay, yeah, there's his contract address. Interesting. Yeah, we can play around with that. Let's see. Well, let's do this. Let's go over here to this one and paste it in, because my MetaMask is in my Chrome browser. And from this little thing here, we should be able to add it directly to MetaMask. So there it is. There's the PYUSD token. We can add the token there. And I'm wondering, still wondering if we can buy it on. So we've got that in our clipboard, right? Well, let's drop it. Let's get the contract address in our clipboard. Let's see if we can find it. Paste it in there, and there it is. It sort of looks a little funky, like it's not quite, yeah. But according to that contract address, that is the PYUSD coin. However, I don't know. I'll just put this out there. CoinMarketCap has been known to not always be 100% perfect. There was another coin we were dealing with back a year or two ago that someone was telling me about, and we went on CoinMarketCap and we found the coin on CoinMarketCap. We got its contract address or whatever, and it turned out that it was a bit of a shady coin. I don't know that it was an outright scam, but it was kind of dicey. And the weird thing was, like, now you could find the coin on CoinMarketCap. You could not find it on CoinGecko. So CoinMarketCap tends to be a little bit, let's just say, looser in their in the coins that they will give you information about, as opposed to CoinGecko, that's a little more conservative as far as giving you information about, like, marginal coins. Let's just put it that way. So I don't know. I would assume that this is the true contract address of the PSI coin. But once again, we're dealing with a stable coin here. Whether or not it's even worth it to get this or not, I guess we can find out. Right? How much would we get here? Okay, so I do have a little bit of Ethereum. No liquidity, right? No one's really trading this. This is just kind of a weird situation. I wouldn't do it. I would probably just wait till I can get it right directly on PayPal before I try to buy it somewhere else. I mean, I'm not really, but it will, when it is available on PayPal, I will definitely show you how to put it in your wallet. And if we buy it on PayPal and then store it in our wallet, we can rest assured that it is in fact legitimate PSI coin, right? Or PYUSD. On the subject of PayPal, I've been logged out. Oh, here we go. I have received my Bitcoin. You've been sent Bitcoin by some dude named Rex. We'll hit done here. Let's see here. It probably doesn't show the value yet because it hasn't been fully confirmed on the blockchain. Okay, whoops. Yeah, come on. So as you can see down here in red, it still says pending. But yes, I have received that $50 worth of Bitcoin. And I've been logged out here. So I'm going to have to re-log in and get another text from them. 628142. And there we go. Let's take a look at that. Let's, we're in crypto here. Let's go to Bitcoin, and it's showing that it's received, but not fully confirmed, right? So, and then it would be interesting to see how long it's going to take for it to be available for trading, right? But as I mentioned, there's no way to, you know, trade for their stablecoin as of yet, right? They only have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash available currently. Yeah, so that's that. So while that came in, right? How do you take your profit on Coinbase Advance and not lose your original position? That I'm not sure of. I'm not an advanced trader. I would say you could do as we were talking about earlier. On Coinbase, you can always swap your Bitcoin either for US dollar or their stablecoin, which is USDC or US dollar coin, or you can even swap into Tether right on Coinbase. I don't know the advantages and disadvantages financially of that, because any one of those would still be considered a taxable event, right? When you trade Bitcoin into stablecoin, it's still a taxable event. You're still selling your Bitcoin, especially if you had a profit and you sell it into stablecoin, then you owe taxes on that transaction because you made a profit on that. And the way the U.S. government works is they want you to calculate the dollar value of that transaction, right? So if you had a 20% gain on your Bitcoin, then you would have to translate that into US dollars, and that would be capital gains, right? Whether you sell it into stablecoin or US dollar, right? I don't know what you mean by maintaining your original position. I mean, you could hold on to the Bitcoin that you had and just sell the profit, like only sell a small percentage of your Bitcoin if you want to do it that way. But you still wouldn't have the same amount of Bitcoin that you bought, right? So I don't know how there's any way to take profit and maintain your position. I'm not a huge trader guy. Let's see, here we go. G-Man, I'm noticing a lot more people are getting into BTC crypto the last 6 to 12 months. Discord community you're in is always having new people come in wanting to buy and hold crypto. Well, that's good news. What's your take about AI and DeFi? I saw something about this with one-click crypto, something like AI-powered DeFi portfolio management. Is this something to look at and use? I tend to stay away from trading bots in general, and AI-augmented trading bots are kind of, to me, it's still a trading bot. I'm not a huge trader. I'm more of a buy and hold kind of a crypto guy. I'm not averse to taking profits, but I don't really like to have a bot trading on my behalf. I'm kind of an old-fashioned guy that way. I use Chat GTP to help me generate descriptions for my YouTube, comments, tweets, that kind of stuff. But I don't use it for my crypto trading. Now, there are some plugins that you can get for Chat GTP that give you crypto information. If you're not aware, Chat GTP is only trained up to 2012, so it can't really give you current stuff, but there are some plugins that are available for that. But you can use, Google has AI search capabilities. Now, it's not giving me the, what is the best way to cook lentils. Whoops. Maybe I'll get there. There's my AI generated. So there's a lot of AI out there that you can get. I think Microsoft Edge now has AI for generating responses. As I mentioned earlier, I've been using Stable Diffusion for image generation, which I really enjoy. But I don't use AI for trading bots because I'm not that type of short-term trader. So unfortunately, I can't really give you much information about that. I'm not trading and I don't want my Bitcoin on the internet, but I never told it to go to my hardware wallet. Okay, so Evelyn has got an issue here. Are you worried now? I chose not to use any of the hot wallets, Coinbase and such, because I didn't want my Bitcoin on the internet. Okay, so yeah, Evelyn, I think you're... I understand what you're getting at as far as not wanting your Bitcoin on the internet. I totally understand what you mean by that. And a hardware wallet is a good way to store the private keys of your Bitcoin wallet. But your Bitcoin is on the internet because the blockchain is on the internet. So the Bitcoin blockchain is part of the internet. It's kind of a underlying protocol, but it is done across the internet. So there's really no way to avoid connecting your Bitcoin to the internet in some way or form. And as I was talking about earlier, hardware wallets need to be updated. So you can't really hide under a rock when it comes to Bitcoin. There are ways of storing Bitcoin that might be a little more static. If you're worried about that kind of stuff, but a mainstream cryptocurrency hardware wallet like a Ledger or a Trezor does need to be connected to the internet and updated, right? And you have to trust the wallet technology to not, no one is going to reach into your wallet and grab your Bitcoin across the internet. Both of these crypto wallets have never been hacked remotely, right? You'll hear a lot of people saying, oh, Ledger was hacked or Trezor was hacked, but these so-called hacks are done by experts with specialized equipment in laboratory conditions, and they have full custody of the device. They have physical access to your device. If you're using your device from home, there has been no successful hack of either of these devices, right? We can talk a little bit more about that kind of stuff. So don't be so worried about the internet, right? Bitcoin is part of the internet. It's your private keys you want to protect. And that's a great sentiment. I'm glad you want to protect your private keys and keep them separate from the internet. Using a hardware wallet is a great way to do that. The main thing you need to avoid is entering your seed phrase on your computer or in your phone or through your voice or showing anybody your seed phrase, right? That's the main way people get their crypto stolen, is by revealing their backup phrase, their 24-word or 12-word backup phrase. People are not getting their devices drained across the internet because it's connected to the internet, right? So I don't want you to feel that that's a danger. I get why you're averse to your Bitcoin being on the internet, but yeah, it's your private key that you're worried about, and you're doing well. But you do need to keep your devices updated. Let's see. I thought Uniswap was a DEX, so how and why are they blocking her? Like, defeats the purpose of decentralized. I don't know who's getting blocked. Can I set up consulting appointment to help me set up my Ledger Nano X from Coinbase? I don't do one-on-one consulting, but I have a lot of videos on how to set up a Ledger device and transfer crypto. We transfer crypto, all that. You just saw me transferring some crypto from my Ledger over to PayPal just a bit ago. Let's see. Evelyn, that part I knew. Said I had to take the Bitcoin off Ledger and put in my hardware wallet. I'm not sure who told you that. Dan said I'm thinking maybe you misunderstood what Dan was saying. If you want to sell your Bitcoin, you definitely need to move it back somewhere where you can trade it. But if you just want to store your Bitcoin, you can keep it in your crypto wallet that is protected by your device, but you do need to keep your device updated. Yeah. So I'm not sure if there was a little confusion about what was going on there. All right, so we got that. Use my video to get Cold Card. Be honest, I love Ledger Live, then Sparrow interface. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the difference between the Ledger Nano X and the Trezor Model T. Oh, Emmanuel, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let me see. I think maybe if I unplug this, and I hope nothing goes haywire when I do this. And plug this in here. Oh, that's right. This doesn't fit. Doggone this stupid thing. Oh, okay. Hang on just a second. Okay, I think maybe this cable will work. The cable that I normally use for my Ledger, that's USB-A or over to USB-C, has got like this thick, there it goes. It's got like this thick covering around it, which is weird. It's a, see that like this part here, I have a USB port on my keyboard and it won't fit into it because that USB port has like a really tight little, anyway, I got this cable in there. All right, so this cable, and it should reach over to the other side. So why don't we do the Trezor now that I've got this cable? Let's hope this works, right? So my keyboard has like this little USB reader thing on here, and there's a little USB port on my keyboard that, and if I unplug that and plug in this cable, I should be able to reach over here. Yes, I can, where we'll connect the Trezor device. So let's see how that works. This one? I guess not. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Oh, I don't have this one set up on the stream. I don't have this little scene set up on the stream deck. All right, yeah, I think we're good. Here, let's see what happens. Yes. Yes. All right, so we're going to tap this. Now, if you haven't used your Trezor device for a couple of years, right, when you connect it, the first thing you'll do is enter your PIN, right, connect it with your USB cable. Oh, I'll go ahead and enter my PIN. Let's see here. You have to be a little careful when you enter your PIN on this device. Okay, hopefully I got that. All right, so it's connected, right? So now that we've got it connected, let's go ahead and launch the software for the Trezor, which is Trezor Suite, right? So we'll launch that, and we'll see whether it asks me to run an update or not. It doesn't look like it. Usually it'll give you that alert when you first launch it. So, and as I mentioned, there's two different things that it will alert you to. Number one, that you need to update the Trezor Suite software. And number 2 would be you need a firmware update. If you haven't used your device in 2 years, it's most likely going to have both of them for you. So you should be able to go ahead and update your Trezor Suite and without updating the firmware. Once you've updated Trezor Suite and relaunched it, then you can do your firmware update. But my device is up to date, so I can't really give you too much about that, right? So let's talk about the Trezor Suite and the Trezor device. The Trezor device is a little more expensive than the Ledger Nano X. It's $219. Let's take a look at what they're selling it for on Amazon right now. If we look at my Amazon page, you can see that it's still doing full retail right now. So right now on Amazon, Ledger Nano X, which is usually $149, is going for $104. So, but that's because the company is having some issues. We'll talk about that in a second. I think they're a little desperate right now for some extra business. Trezor Model Ts run higher, right? $219, which is nothing to sneeze at. But if you've got thousands of dollars worth of crypto that you want to protect, then really price is no object, right? So if you've only got $500 that you have available to invest in crypto, then maybe you should just go ahead and use all of that on Coinbase to buy yourself some Bitcoin or Kraken or Gemini or whatever, rather than spending $200 or $150 of that $500 on a hardware wallet, right? Maybe you're better off just, dipping your toe with the money that you've got available. But if you've got 5,000, 10,000 or more of crypto sitting on an exchange, it's not a great idea, right? Go, $100, $200 is not that much extra money on top of your initial investment of thousands of dollars to secure your crypto the way it should be done, self-custody, right? So $219 for a Trezor model. Now, let's talk a little bit about the good stuff about Trezor, and that is that it is open source, right? Everything about the Trezor is open source. If we go over here to GitHub, this is a developer website where software is, where developers can look at the code base and update the code and view the code, right? It's fully transparent. We got the firmware is open source. The Trezor Suite is open source. I don't know where it is, but I've heard that somewhere you can get the 3D printer information of the device and actually build one on your own, right? They've got all of the plans, and the software are fully and freely available for anyone to view, and that's why people put their trust in Trezor, because they don't have to trust them. They can verify it, right? They can see it with their own eyes, and this is a great thing. Ledger, on the other hand, has what we would call closed source firmware. Now, if we go to the Ledger page, GitHub page, you'll see that Ledger Live is fully open source. Ledger Live is an open source project on the internet. You can view the code on Ledger Live and look for bugs or security vulnerabilities or whatever, right? Ledger Live is fully open source. And you'll notice that the apps are also open source, right? You've got the Ethereum app, You've got the Cosmos app. All of these open source applications are what makes Ledger good as far as industry support. They have a lot of developer support, mostly because if you, like for example, Windows versus Mac or Windows versus Apple computers, right? Back in the early days, there was a lot of talk about, should I buy an Apple computer or a Windows-based computer? And one of the main selling points of a Windows computer was that it had a lot of developer and software support for all kinds of software. And the reason this was is because it was a bigger share of the market, right? So 90% roughly of the people out there are using Windows-based machines. So if you're a software developer, it makes sense for you to develop Windows software because there's a bigger market. So the same holds true for the Ledger platform. Ledger was the best-selling wallet out there. I don't know if it is anymore. And that is why most of the blockchain developers were writing code for the Ledger platform, right? So you got your blockchain, right? You've got your native wallets, right? But a lot of developers wanted, because so many people own ledgers, they were writing software apps for the Ledger platform, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cosmos, Polkadot, Solana, Tezos, Stellar. These are all blockchains that are supported on the Ledger platform. And you'll notice that over in Trezor, I'm only managing Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, XRP, and Cardano. That's it, right? If I wanted to add more, let's see, let's go over here. If I wanted to add another cryptocurrency over and above these, you'll notice that they don't really support that many, right? They don't support Polkadot, they don't support Cosmos, they don't support Stellar. So you're a little bit limited with the Trezor device. But if all you have is Bitcoin, then the Trezor is a no-brainer, right? So, but that's one of the main differences between Ledger and Trezor. As far as industry support goes, Ledger has a lot more industry support than Trezor, right? Let's see. Let's take a look at what we've got here. Should we do a transfer? Maybe we'll do a transfer from the Ledger to the Trezor. Why don't we do that? Sounds like fun, doesn't it? Let's see. I want to catch up with Evelyn here. Bitcoin can't be moved if you don't share your private key, but I have been hacked before on my MetaMask and can't really explain how this happened. Can you reveal more on how wallets can be hacked? The main way that crypto wallets are hacked is you are tricked into revealing your backup phrase. Hands down. I know people don't want to hear this. They would rather believe that there's like these hacker guys floating out there on the internet that are like reaching into their wallets and emptying them out. But generally that is because you have inadvertently been tricked into revealing your seed phrase in one form or another. Now, you might have downloaded faux software that looked like MetaMask, and when you put in your seed phrase or created your seed phrase, the hacker or the scammer or the attacker got access to that seed phrase when you initiated the wallet, and then from that day forward, it was a tainted wallet. Or you tried to restore your wallet, or you were having trouble with your wallet and you reached out to somebody and someone said they were from MetaMask support, and then tricked you into giving out that seed phrase. Now, MetaMask itself, if it is not protected by a hardware device, let's take a look at the base account for my MetaMask. This base account is not connected to a hardware device. Notice we can go here and connect hardware devices, and that I have a couple of accounts that are associated with my hardware wallets. Right? This is a Ledger-based account. This account is secured by my Ledger. This account up here is not. Now, a lot of people think that they start out, they create a MetaMask account, they put a bunch of crypto in there, and then they connect a hardware wallet in one form or another. And then they think their base account is protected because they've done that. That's not how it works, right? As you can see, I've created, when I connected my hardware wallet, I created a brand new account. This account is protected by the hardware wallet. This other account is not. All right? So this account is basically a hot wallet. It's the private key for this wallet is stored on my computer. And it is possible that your computer got hacked and they were able to gain access to the MetaMask account private key because it's stored on your computer. You actually got, traditionally hacked somehow. And you may have done this by downloading some kind of malware that you were unaware of by clicking on a link. Malware is pretty sophisticated, and you could have clicked on a link that gave some attacker remote access to your computer, and then once he had remote access, he checked your computer to see if you were running any crypto wallets, discovered your MetaMask, and was able to steal your encrypted file from your computer and take it over to his computer. And then from there, he was able to run cracking software on it and break your password and gain access to your wallet. That's possible, right? That's one attack revenue or attack. I can't think of the word. I'm very eloquent, except times when I'm not. So yes, it is possible that you were actually remote hacked on your MetaMask account by downloading malware. And you want to avoid that by putting like internet security software, virus protection software, firewall software on your computer. I use EST Internet Security. I also use Malwarebytes anti-malware. Both of these pieces of software will alert me when I have inadvertently clicked on a link that is a shady website, or if something tries to get installed on my computer that is shady, right? So if you're running MetaMask without any hardware device support, then you are susceptible to those types of hacks. So if you're running crypto on your computer, make sure that you've got your computer secured and locked down. And also, attack vector, thank you. Vector, that's a good one. Yeah. Yes, that's an attack vector. Thank you. So you want to, if you want to use MetaMask, right? Let's say you don't have enough money for a hardware wallet and you want to download MetaMask. It's a great free open source wallet that you can use on your computer. Just make sure that your computer has the necessary tools. Now, Windows Defender is pretty good and it's built into Windows. So if you're on a budget, Windows Defender is good. The main thing, even against like remote hacks, you should be aware of is just don't click freaky links. Don't click links from within emails. You'll get a lot of that. That's called a phishing scam, where you'll get sent an email claiming to be from some company or support or whatever, and they usually will try to scare you by saying your account has been compromised. It's really funny how a hacker, the first attack vector for a hacker or a phisher is to tell you you've already been hacked, right? That sets off red flags in your head. They'll say, ooh, you've been hacked. Click this link here to fix it. Well, that link is the hack, right? So don't believe it when you get an email telling you that you've already been hacked, because that is the way that they get the door open for you. You'll click a link, you'll install software, and then you really have been hacked. So don't click suspicious links. Don't download and install a bunch of bloatware on your computer. I try to stay away from any kind of free utility software. You'll notice that, like, if you get a free utility that converts, like say you want to convert video formats or whatever, so you go get this free utility, that as you're running the install, there's all these partner offers that offer to install additional stuff. That's like bloatware, right? You don't want to install all this junk on your computer. Spyware, adware, that kind of stuff. So it's really the main defense is you, right? So you can have antivirus and anti-malware, but if you're downloading a bunch of junk on your computer, even they can't help you, right? They'll warn you, right? So if you can't afford virus protection and malware bites or whatever, then use Window Defender and just be smart when you use your computer. Thank you, Timothy, for the subscription. I appreciate that. So that's how you would get hacked. Now, the hardware wallet is a different animal, but you can be hacked by these same techniques, by a phishing email or faux software out there that looks like Ledger Live or looks like Trezor Suite, that at some point during the process will ask you to type in your seed phrase or 24-word or 12-word backup phrase. Don't do that. Don't ever type in your seed phrase. If Ledger Live is asking you to type in your seed phrase from your keyboard, that's not Ledger Live. That's malware, right? So most of these hacks that we're talking about occur by tricking you into typing in or revealing your seed phrase in some way or form. All right, so I just wanted to get to that question because I saw it down there. Or claiming tokens, right? There's all kinds of crypto scams, NFT minting scams, claim free token scams, claim free airdrop scams, right? I try to avoid that kind of stuff too. You're much better off just doing your own research, buying legitimate crypto on a legitimate exchange, and then storing it in your own wallet rather than trying to get rich quick by clicking all these, shady links, right? Can I switch my Ledger from Ledger to Trezor? Yes, we can. We'll do that. Let's do that. So I've got, yeah. I thought this thing was on. What happened? Oh, I unplugged it. That's why. I can still plug this one in. Yeah, so I went ahead and plugged that one back in. Let me get into the... I'm going to need the pin. My dog is going nuts upstairs. I say my dog. It's not my dog. It's my wife's dog. Okay, so let's open this guy up. Oh, I hope I got that update done before I yanked that cable out. I wasn't paying attention. Looks like all the apps updated successfully except for this one. Oh, it's not installed. Okay, so we're good, right? So we've got everything updated. Let's go back over here to the accounts section. Let's go over here to this Bitcoin section. Why is there this? I don't know what that's about. Should be okay. There. Okay. We send $50 to PayPal. Now let's send $50 over to my Trezor. Right, so here's my Trezor Suite. So in order to send some crypto into this wallet, I'm going to need the address. Now remember, we are not moving crypto from this thing to this thing, right? Crypto is on the blockchain. These little devices simply hold the private keys for the wallets. So it's more specific or more precise to say we are moving Bitcoin from a Ledger-based wallet over to my Trezor-based wallet because the crypto is on the blockchain. It's just moving from one blockchain address to another blockchain address. But these are both blockchain addresses that I control by virtue of the fact that I hold the private keys. All right, so this is our destination. We start there, right? If someone wants to pay you by check for some work that you did, what's their first question? Hey, what's your address? I'll mail you a check. But give me your address, right? How am I going to send you a check unless I have your address? So give me your address. I'll write you a check. I'll drop it in the mail, right? So same with crypto. What's your address? If I want to receive crypto into this wallet, I need to get the address. So from the dashboard here, we can click on the Bitcoin account, or can I? Yeah, it takes me over to the Bitcoin account. Or I can just go from dashboard to accounts, right? And then they're over here on the left, right? So we want to get Bitcoin here, and let's move some Bitcoin into this wallet. So I'll want to do a receive. All right, and this is the cool thing about how the ledger works. I'm going to do this show full address. Let's do this first. Okay, we got this guy here ready. Let's do show full address. I'll go back here. Now I kind of wish I didn't have that transition. So show full address. Oh, it just showed it. All right, confirm on Trezor. All right, so my Trezor device wants me to confirm that address. And look how, let me get, there it is. Look how cool the way the Trezor works. You've got this little touch screen. You've got this nice green confirm button. You just tap that. And then over on your screen, the address is revealed. I can copy it into my clipboard. All right. And then let's go back over to Ledger. And now we're going to do a send from Ledger. And where are we going to send it? Well, let's paste in that address we just got. That's the long and short of it. That's how you move crypto. You use addresses to do so. Let's hit continue here. Let's do another 50. Whoops. Let's do another 50 worth of Bitcoin. We'll hit continue. And we'll hit continue one more time. And now I need to open the Bitcoin app on the Ledger device, which I will do. I'm authorizing the outgoing transaction on my Ledger device. All right, you can see a little better here. We've got to review that transaction. Come into focus for me. There it goes, sort of. Okay, so I'm going to go through here. Sorry, this is not coming into focus the way I would like, but will that do it? No. Okay. All right. Oh, there it goes. Hey. All right, so we hit the metal button. That's the address that I'm sending to or from, to. I'll approve by clicking both buttons. Now I'll confirm those blockchain fees, and we'll click both buttons, and should be on its way. So we can see here that the Bitcoin went out from my Ledger device. Now I'm not in focus anymore. As Scott would say, blurry, but anyway, I would rather my complexion isn't 4K. I don't have 4K complexion, right? So maybe it'd be better if I just stay blurry. All right, come on. Come on. Come on, baby. Okay. I remember I used to have this problem quite a bit. Okay, so the Bitcoin went out. Let's take a look over here at this wallet. And I have a pending incoming transaction. Come on, please. I'm begging you. Okay, there it is. You can see me in all my glory, right? We have an incoming Bitcoin transaction into this wallet. I did not move Bitcoin from my one device to the other. I moved Bitcoin from one blockchain address to another blockchain address. I got my son a Ledger. It's delivered tomorrow, a device I bought this year. Very good. Nice job, G-Man. No name. I've got several fairly recent videos on how to set up the Ledger device. Should be. So, Bonnie, I hope that helped. Bon, have you tried to connect Nano S Plus to mobile by cable? I have never done that myself because it's not compatible with iPhone. It only works on an Android device. So no, I have never done that. I understand that it's possible, but I don't have an Android phone. I have an iPhone. So I've never tried to use the Cable Connect kit for that. Oh, I just heard kitty. So let's talk a little bit about the finer points between the Ledger and the Trezor. A lot of people bag on Ledger and they say, Ledger, I don't trust Ledger. I don't trust Ledger because their firmware is not completely open source, right? So we don't know what they're doing. They could be exporting our public keys, but they can't prove that they're not, so I don't trust them. I get that, right? And then in the same breath, if I say, well, why don't you use a Trezor? They'll say, well, Trezor was hacked. Trezor's been hacked. Well, there's a reason that Trezor got hacked. And once again, I will tell you that this is a very specific attack. This was not someone remotely hacking a Trezor device. This was a very specific hack. And the reason why that it got hacked was because it is fully open source, right? Hackers can go in and analyze the code and figure out ways to hack the device because all of the architecture is fully open source. Trezor does not use secure element devices. All right. The reason that Ledger uses secure element chips, they call them, is because they are secret. Nobody knows how they work. They're black boxes. So hackers can't go in there and look at the code and figure out a way to hack the device. So yes, Trezor has been hacked in the past, very specific, using very specific equipment and wait, just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. You're the one that was coming around here. That's right. Yeah, it was you. You want to say, oh, did you just cough? Okay, go see Alex. Alex is going to feed you. Yeah. So we have a trade-off here. Okay, we've got two devices. One device maintains secrecy because that was the way that device was designed. It uses a secure element chip, which is hidden, right? The way that the device stores the private key is an industry secret, right? And Ledger has their own operating system that is mostly closed source. Their Ledger Live software is open source, open to developers and anyone that wants to look at the code, but their firmware is closed source. It always has been, right? So people that say, I don't trust Ledger, don't realize that they were always trusting Ledger. Ledger has the way the device works is it's a secret. Right? You're not supposed to know. And so they tell us that the key never leaves the device and only the user can verify transactions using their private key. And we've trusted them with that, even though their device has been closed source from day one, right? Now they want to add a new service that will allow the user to export their private key. And everyone's crying foul. With good reason, because it's antithetical to the way cryptocurrency works. But Ledger did their analyzing, right? Their business analyzing, and they said, okay, we sold all these devices. We're the best wallet. Everyone loves our wallet. Well, there's all these people out there that want to own crypto that can't manage their own private key, because we get calls every day with people screaming at us to give them back the crypto that they lost because they don't know how to manage their own private key. They revealed their private key to some scammer, and now they're calling us, telling us to give them their crypto back. So maybe we should come out with a new service that will manage your private key for you, since you're too dumb and lazy to do it yourself. And there's all these people out there that will buy our devices and will make a whole bunch of money, because now we're just a niche product. We're only appealing to the crypto enthusiasts that are smart enough and capable enough and have the energy and the wherewithal to store their private key safely and securely, to set up the device, to write it down, to put it in a safe place. Those we love those guys. They bought our wallets, but there's all these other people out there that are too dumb and lazy to do that themselves. So we should appeal to them. Or they were contacted by people that were in the know and said, hey, the EU is passing new financial regulations. You better update your wallet so that you can comply with these regulations, or you're going to go out of business. We don't know what prompted them to do this new service, right? But still, the wallet is still the same wallet it was before. First of all, this service hasn't even been introduced. But that's Ledger, right? And then on the other side of that, we have Trezor, that is completely open source, but has this weakness that because their software is open source, it is vulnerable to specialized hacks. Now, they've addressed this, they've fixed it, and they've moved on. Their wallet is no longer vulnerable to that specific hack. And as I mentioned earlier, this hack required the attacker to have physical access to your device. So if you have a Trezor and you keep it hidden in your house, then it is not at risk. And over and above that, if you use a passphrase, then even if someone gets physical access to your device, they still don't know your passphrase, even if they hack the private key of the wallet. So you have to take into account both sides of the issue. Ledger created a wonderful hardware wallet that was secret, right? That had and they promised us that the device worked the way it was supposed to work, and they sold their devices on that promise, and people have been using the device. The device has been rigorously tested over the years. No one has ever had their crypto simply emptied out of their hardware wallet without having inadvertently revealed their seed phrase. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I'm getting a lot of flack from both sides, right? I did a video on what's the difference between Ledger and Trezor, and I got a lot of people from both sides telling me I'm dumb because I'm recommending Ledger. Don't you know Ledger has, stealing everybody's private keys now? Don't you realize the Trezor has been hacked, you dumb, right? I'm taking a lot of abuse from both sides over this, right? But it's not black and white, right? It's not something that, is cut and dried, right? We have two sides of the issue. We have either you've got a device that's it's an industry secret that does it in secret because crypto should be secret. Your private key should be secret. and we're using all the latest technology, and you're just going to have to trust us, right? You can test the devices, but they're black boxes, right? That's one side of it. Or we have the Trezor side. Hey, we've got this device. It's completely open source and secure, but don't let it fall into somebody else's hands, because this code is out there, there'll always be someone trying to hack our device in one form or another. Though when we find out about it, we'll fix it. But it's just like the virus, antivirus thing. You've got a virus. It's out in the wild. It's infecting people's computers. The virus companies say, oh, there's a new virus. We'll write new virus software. So we got to update your virus software, right? So now the virus software has dealt with all the viruses out there in the wild. Well, somebody comes up with a new virus that comes out and starts infecting people's computers. And so the virus companies have to write new software to defend against the new threats, right? So it's a back and forth. It's a cat and mouse game, and that's what Trezor plays. But in general, having open source software is a good thing, right? So like I get this back and forth. I get all these people, oh, I don't trust Ledger. And then in the same breath, they go, Trezor's been hacked. And why? Because Trezor is open source. Nobody, they're not keeping any secrets from anybody. And another issue that we have to deal with here is that it's great that they're open source, yeah. But open source software generally is like Linux software, whatever, are written in high level languages. And there's like lots of people out there that understand how to write code in these high level languages. And so there's developers that are a huge community of developers that are working on these software projects. And so bugs get fixed quick. New features get added fairly regularly because there's a lot of eyes on the code, right? The Trezor code is more esoteric, more specialized, and so it's more vulnerable to hackers because there's less of a large community of eyes working on this type of software. Right, let's go, look at the, let's look at Linux or Debian GitHub. Maybe, I think they might have, you'll see that there's a lot more developers working on these larger, see, it's even more, right? You've got a lot more developers working on larger projects written in higher level code than these, small hardware companies like Trezor. So that's another issue. Open sources works better in larger communities than smaller communities. So we have that. I'm having trouble transferring some Etheridge from learning. Whoops. Did you get that right? The name of the Linux is great. Yeah, chippy. Yeah, I like Linux too. It's a little, there's not as much software support for Linux, right? So I think it's like my day-to-day software is like the Adobe Cloud stuff, like Photoshop and Premiere. It's a little difficult to run and configure on a Debian machine, right, or a Linux machine. So I'm more with the Windows platform. That even though privacy-wise, functionality-wise, Linux is really we should be using Linux. But once again, 90% of the world are running on Windows machines. Yeah, don't like Windows. Yeah, a lot of people give me flack about running on Windows. Right, most of my tutorials are Windows based. And then I'll get flack for that. Oh, you should be using Linux. Like, well, I would, but I'm living in the real world. Anyway, So let's see. Any other? Let's see. We went back and forth from Trezor. Let's go out from Trezor back to Ledger, just so we can see how that works. Yeah, GIMP, right? But yeah, I'd have to learn GIMP. I get it. There are open source free software packages out there available on Debian and Linux to do what normally I do, but anyway, it's a long story, right? But I would save some money not having to buy, spend $50 a month on my Creative Cloud subscription, 55, whatever. Let's move back. Let's do the last thing. Let's move back. Let's go from, we went to PayPal. Yeah, let's go back to Ledger. So we got this Ledger device here. Let's do a receive this time. Let's get the Bitcoin address of my Ledger-based wallet. We'll copy that into our clipboard. Right? What's your address? I want to mail you a check. What's your address? Well, here's my address. And Mr. Trezor, well, could you please send me a check? Well, Mr. Trezor could send me some Bitcoin. So Mr. Trezor is going to say, okay, I'll do a send. Where should I send it? Go ahead and use that address that you got from Ledger. How much do you want me to send? $50. Okay. Now let's review that. All right, let's go over here. And this is I really love the sends on the Trezor. So here we go. Wants me to verify that address that I'm sending to. We'll hit continue. We tap. There's the amount. Just tap. And now to authorize the outgoing transaction, I simply hold and confirm. So I just press down till that goes all the way through, and then off it goes, right? It's really a joy to use this device. Well, whoops, again. I feel it's well worth the extra money for that touchscreen. So much cooler than the way the Ledger works with those ganky little buttons, right? The Trezor is just got this beautiful little touchscreen on it that works like a charm, right? Maybe it could be bigger, but the bigger the touchscreen, the more difficult it is to manage the device, right? That Engrave is a really cool and secure wallet, but it's not the kind of thing you can just carry around in your pocket. It's about bigger than my phone. Maybe it could go in my pocket. But yeah, I mean, when you get to the point of a screen being too large, right? Oh, and I think I have to click this button to finish it out, right? That's the broadcast button. So we're sending Bitcoin out. Should be going back into this wallet. We should see that incoming pretty soon here. And we'll just kind of hang out and chat. Gman, okay, there it came in. That was easy. And we received it, but it's not confirmed, right? Tutorial for using Trezor for ADA. I don't want to use any subscription software. It feels like a scam. And if I fall on hard times, all my work is held hostage because I can't view and edit it. GIMP works on Windows too. Okay. Subscription software kind of held hostage. I get that sentiment, but over the years, the software industry has pretty much evolved to a software as a service model. It used to be if you wanted a copy of Photoshop, you had to go out and spend like $700 or $800 to buy it in the box. And then after a year or two, it would be outdated and you would have to buy like either an upgrade, like in the box too, and then you take that home and run it. Or you, after 4 or 5 years, they would come out with a whole brand new edition in a box. and then you would have to spend another $700 or $800 to buy that box, and then you would take that home and install that on your computer. Well, and then it got to where you could buy the software online. And then they just finally said, look, how about we just charge you $50 a month, and you'll get every update that comes out when it comes out, right? You don't have to like go back and forth buying boxes of software. So most software companies have evolved into that model. I prefer commercial software. I don't really mind that much. Hey, look, the amount just went down. That was weird. But it's still there. It just went down and went back up again. I used to, always download cracked software, but I kind of got tired of that cat and mouse game and decided, about 10 years ago, to finally just say, look, if you want it, you got to buy it, right? But if you would rather use GIMP, that's great. Yeah. Well, it's got some very enlightened people in my stream here as far as open source software and alternate platforms go. I'm very impressed with you guys. Yeah. Putting me to shame for being an old codger that just, antes up when the software companies come by. It's kind of like the mafia now, Hey, nice software you got here. I like all the little files you got saved there. It would be a shame if something happened to them. Maybe if you pay me my protection money every month, you ain't got a thing to worry about, right? Your software will keep working. It won't catch fire or anything like that. It's a racket, baby. Just like the insurance companies jacking my insurance $45 a month. What are you going to do, right? Maybe open source is the answer to that kind of stuff. $430. Wow. Model T, $430 in Australia. Wow. I don't know that I have any ADA in this wallet, to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't have any ADA in the Trezor to do a demo out from. But, if you wanted to receive some ADA, you would just do the same thing I did before, right? We could confirm that on the device, right? Right, just so we can see that address here, right? And then tap to confirm. We would just confirm that that's the same address we see on our screen. And then we'll just copy this address into our clipboard, go over to our ledger, and just go over to our ADA, if I have any. There's a little bit left in here, and just do a send. Paste in the address from the Trezor, click continue, and then how much is in here? It was like 50. Well, let's just send it all. Why not? Send it all. And then we'll need to confirm the outgoing on the device. It wants me to open the Cardano app. All right, Cardano ready. It's going to have me send. Actually, I'm not going to do this because there's a whole bunch of tokens in this wallet. And if I empty out the Cardano, then I won't be able to. Yeah, I think I can. I'm sorry, I'm having to look at this. Okay. Well, I think it's too late. I can always move it back. All right, whatever. All right, so it's... Oh, and then confirm, I can say no. Right? Right, I can reject, right, at this point. Right. Action rejected. You have full control. So yeah, it's not that different than sending Bitcoin back and forth. ADA is just another supported crypto on the Trezor platform. It may be outdated, but it still works. Cool. Yeah. Now, GIMP is for photo editing. Am I correct there? Okay. I've actually run across this before, and I'm assuming that it'll save, you know, it has its own format for editing and layers and manipulating images and that sort of stuff, and then you can save it out to PNG or JPEG or however you want to do it, I'm assuming. Right. I don't know, though, if I'm ready to, like, adjust my workflow. Yeah. But it's free, right? And it's open source, which is a beautiful thing. I'm having trouble transferring my ETH to my Trezor wallet, and Ledger tells me that the device is locked. I don't know how it is locked. Well, actually, Vinny, you saw me earlier. I don't know if you've been in the whole stream, but when I had the wrong cable attached, I have like a USB C to C cable that was plugged into my USB-C port on my desktop. That doesn't work right for me. So when I had the device unlocked and opened, the cable was the problem. And that's why Ledger was telling me my device was still locked, even though it was open. It was a bad cable. I don't know if that's your problem or not, but you might want to double check that. Maybe try a different cable or try a different USB port and go through the whole process again. Because if the cable and the communication isn't working properly, Ledger will tell you the device is locked, even though it's clearly unlocked in your hand. That, for me, earlier, that was a cable issue. So maybe you want to check that. Only when you try to confirm transactions. That's kind of weird. Not really sure about what's going on there. But it's basically, it seems like it's a Ledger issue, right? You might want to try connecting the Ledger to MetaMask and seeing if you can send the ETH out that way, because you can connect MetaMask to your device, right? Or you can connect your device to MetaMask. So if it's not working in Ledger Live, you might try using MetaMask to make that outgoing transaction, perhaps. Not sure. You might want to make sure you're using the latest firmware, make sure you've got your Ethereum app up to date, make sure your Ledger Live is up to date, try a different cable, maybe try it on a different computer if all else fails. Maybe you've got a USB issue on your machine. You can always install Ledger Live on a laptop, connect your device, access your accounts, try that. There's lots of different troubleshooting steps you can try when you're having issues with your device, short of calling Ledger, right? Ledger's just going to walk you through the normal stuff, that all that stuff that I just talked about. They're probably going to have you try all that stuff too, right? Just because they're Ledger doesn't mean that they have all the answers either, right? Sometimes it's something local that you can figure out. Anyway, I'm running over this week. I was going to try to end up at an hour and a half. I hope everything I said was enlightening to you guys. So don't forget, we will be back next week. We're going to do this again every Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't forget to join me again for the live stream from Michigan, where you can throw out questions, and I'll do my best to get them answered. Hope to see you there again next week. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me, and hope to see you again soon. Thanks for that, Evelyn. I'll check out GIMP and see if it works for me or not. Not free. All right. Have a good night.